Alright then, today we're going to do Exodus chapter 13, and we're going to start at verse 1 and continue on to verse 2. The Lord spoke further to Moses, saying, Consecrate to me every firstborn, man and beast. The first issue of every womb among the Israelite is mine. So the Israelites, in the story, of course, they were never there in real reality, but there were real slaves in Egypt. I think it's fairly obvious that if the pyramids are real, then slavery is real, and we still have slavery today. So obviously, slavery is real. Slavery is also real. Anyhow, the Lord Moses, or the Lord talking to Moses, or Moses the Lord megalomaniac, he said that every one of the firstborn, and this is normal. The king always liked to have the firstborn. Other kings did too. I mean, sacrifice usually didn't mean burning of children. I don't think there was a whole lot of burning of children in our history. I think that's mostly stories about other people that we like to think that are evil and bad. Like, for example, I think one of the American wars recently, they made a film about stealing incubators from babies or something, and that was their excuse for going in to have a war. I think that was the first Iraq war or something. Soldiers weren't stealing fucking incubators from babies. That's a bunch of bullshit. I mean, everything you see in the news is bullshit. Okay, we'll get on to verse 4 now. You go free on this day in this month of Abib. So when the Lord has brought you into the land of the Canaanites, the Hittites, the Amorites, the Hivites, and the Jebusites, which he swore to your fathers to give you, a land flowing with milk and honey, you shall observe in this month the following practices. And of course, those were the unleavened bread and slaughtering of the cow or the chicken. No, what are they slaughtering? The kid goat or the kid sheep. And all of this was to symbolize, because symbolizing is very, very important, because that way you keep your brain closed. As long as you're full of symbols, there's no way you're going to stop to think. And the Lord God, Moses, knows that. And every other person who propagates the fact that they have spoken to God is also a lying prick or cunt. Can you say cunt in the Bible stories? Oh, sorry. What we're trying to explain is the concept of owning and symbolizing is to keep the free people. The free people weren't free. They were turned into soldiers. They were taken away as slaves and made into soldiers. Which is better? I don't know. Well, it was probably better to be a soldier than to be a slave. Like, it's better to have one leg cut off instead of two legs cut off. But it's not good. And he promises land flowing with milk and honey. Of course, this is a lie. No land is flowing with milk and honey. And the whole idea was a little bit ridiculous, because the land was already occupied by a lot of other people. So God wasn't being very sensible, I don't think, if he was trying to give away things. I mean, but ownership is a retarded thing anyway. But the land that he gave away was already occupied by many other people. Well, let's skip on down to verse 12. You shall set apart for the Lord every first issue of the womb. Every male firstling that your cattle drop shall be the Lord's. But every firstling ass you shall redeem with a sheep. If you do not redeem it, you must break its neck. And you must redeem every firstborn male among your children. And when in the time to come your sons ask you, saying, What does this mean? You shall say to him, It was with a mighty hand that the Lord brought us out of Egypt, the house of bondage. When Pharaoh stubbornly refused to let us go, the Lord slew every firstborn in the land of Egypt, the firstborn of both man and beast. Therefore I sacrifice to the Lord every first male issue of the womb, but redeem every firstborn among my sons.